This might be a topic you guys hate. Honestly, if you hate my opinion on this, I'm okay. I'm not here for you guys to agree with me. I'm here to share my perspective and hopefully have an interesting conversation. I think it would be weird if you guys always agreed with me 100% of the time. If you listen to Strong Opinion Sports because you're looking for someone to agree with, you're probably listening to this for the wrong reasons. So I hope you enjoy this topic. If you hate it, skip ahead or go find another video. I really don't mind. But I want to talk about the NCAA scandal. So to start this, a speedboat can turn on a dime. Turn the wheel, speedboat turns. Now, a giant freight ship takes minutes at a time to turn. Same problem, but for the smaller system, happens instantly. For the bigger system, it takes a lot longer to change. It's a harder process. It's a much more difficult process to turn a giant boat than a small boat because it's a bigger system. The bigger the system, the harder it is to change things. And when something is small that breaks, you replace it. When your phone charger breaks, easy, simple, $5, go buy a new charger. When your headphones break, you replace your headphones. But some problems are too big. If my car breaks, if my car dies tomorrow, I better figure out how to fix it because I'm too broke to replace my car. Some problems are simply too big, you can't solve them. The NCAA is a giant freight ship that needs to turn. But not only is it not capable of turning, the captain doesn't want to turn. The NCAA does not want to change. The NCAA is a broken system, yet the people at the top have no desire to change things. Last week, a story came out accusing as many as 20 NCAA schools of giving basketball players improper benefits. Schools like Duke, North Carolina, Texas, Kentucky, Michigan State, USC, Alabama, and many more. Multiple players in the NBA were named. Multiple players in the NCAA have been mentioned. So what do we make of it? Well, first, the obvious thing is it's unfair to teams that aren't cheating. If your team is cheating, you have an unfair advantage over other teams that follow the rules. But my interest in this story is why. Why this scandal happened is what interests me. I think it's really funny. The NCAA says that they hate this. The NCAA says they don't want this to happen. It's bad. Look up the quotes. It's hilarious. If you don't like it, then do something about it. But the truth is, the NCAA not only will not do anything about this, they don't want to do anything about this. Nothing will change. This story will not change anything. So most notably, Sean Miller, the Arizona State basketball head coach, was caught discussing paying $100,000 to land a recruit named DeAndre Ayton. Again, nothing will change. There's probably way more that we haven't heard of. This is the thing we know about. This is a guy that got caught. We don't know what else is out there that we probably will never hear about. We hear so many stories like this, improper benefits, every year. Another college, whether it's basketball or football, every year there's another story like this. And nothing ever changes. Scandal after scandal after scandal. And I think it's funny. Recently, my opinion of the NCAA has completely changed. I used to think that student athletes were ungrateful. I used to have this attitude. They get free college. They get to play college football. That's way more than I got. I felt like that was unfair. And I think many people feel that way. Many people listening to this podcast probably feel like student athletes are ungrateful and need to appreciate the opportunity they're given with college athletics. Now, how about this? If you're listening, I'm going to assume you work hard, you have a job, you're educated, you work, whatever. You don't have to be educated, but I assume you have a job and you work hard. So imagine this. Picture this. Close your eyes. Imagine this. You were the top salesman at your company, and you bring in millions of dollars for your company. Your company makes millions. They are rich because of your hard work. So Bill, who's also a salesman at your company, he does the same exact job. Yet he sits on Facebook all day. He's not even close to sales. He barely makes any sales a month. Yet Bill makes the same amount of money as you. And that frustrates you. You bring in millions for the company and Bill does nothing. He sits on Facebook and you guys make the exact same amount. That would frustrate you. It would frustrate me. It would frustrate anybody. You want to be paid what you are worth. And I realized the common ground between a guy like me and a student athlete is that we are both employees. I'm an employee. You've worked as an employee. Student athletes are also employees. Can we stop pretending? Can we stop pretending that student athletes are in college for the education? They are employees. Student athletes are employees. And college basketball is a business. You know, sometimes I get frustrated. Oh, these D1 athletes, they don't appreciate what they have. And then I remember that Alabama Athletics brought in $174 million in revenue last year. But we all pretend they're there for their studies. They're there for the free education, which is about $40,000 a year. We all pretend it's ridiculous. If you want more proof, here's more proof. I'm going to use the IRS's definition. Again, the tax agency of America. I'm going to use the IRS's definition of what makes an employee. There are two types of workers that I've dealt with. There's a 1099, which is a contracted worker, and then there's a W-2 full-on employee. I fill out a 1099. I work for sports networks, and I operate a camera. To do that, I have to fill out a 1099. I am a contracted worker. I've also had other jobs in the past where I filled out a W-2. What that means is you are an employee. Now, the way the IRS defines an employee, the way they designate what makes an employee is if the business controls what you do and how you do it. How much control does the business have over you? Now, colleges completely control athletes 100%. They make you work out at certain times. They make you do film study. You have to practice. You have to take a certain amount of credits. A college controls a student athlete's entire life. By the IRS definition, look it up. Student athletes are employees. Based on the paperwork I've filled out in the past, a student athlete is actually an employee. It's in the definition. The point of all this is to say that the point is NCAA programs use athletes to make millions of dollars. They sell jerseys. They use them in promotional videos. Now, student athletes, they get a free education. That's awesome. But that's really weak compensation when you realize how much money is brought in. And that's why all of these NCAA stories will not change a thing. Nothing will change. Nothing will come of this. Because the NCAA does not want to change. They make too much money exploiting young men. They basically get free labor to make millions and millions of dollars off of student, quote unquote, student athletes. This is not revolutionary. I'm sure you hate what I'm saying. I'm very okay with that. It's my opinion. This is how I feel. But I side with players. I'm not going to side with the big organization. The players in this situation are me. I'm not going to side with the big, powerful company. I'm going to side with the guy, the little guy, the you and the me of this scenario. College sports are a business, and we pretend like they're not. We pretend like a student athlete is there to get his degree. And then people argue, well, he's paid a college education. So people acknowledge that student athletes should be paid. You just think they're paid enough because you pay them a free education. More than I get, but I don't bring in millions of dollars for my university. Luke Falk, I'm not gonna name names. Certain athletes, God, man, they bring in tons. They bring in bucket loads of money. I heard LeVar Ball is trying to start a league. LeVar Ball is trying to bridge the gap between high school and the NBA. He's going to make a developmental league where guys can earn fair compensation and prep for the NBA. I love that. The more I hear ideas like that, and then the more scandals I hear where players are getting paid and there's all this shadiness, I just want to see a actual good system. I'm not a big fan of college basketball. I want to watch the best. I like the NBA. And if there's going to be a weird middleman, can it be something that's organized and makes sense? And Isn't this kind of weird BS where, oh, they're student athletes? It's not the worst thing ever. A student athlete doesn't have a terrible life, right? It's not that awful. But they're not fairly compensated, and they're definitely exploited to make millions of dollars for the people upstairs, and that drives me nuts. Because not because that's how a lot of the world works. I get that, but they pretend like it's not what's happening. They pretend like they're helping the kids, and they are. They're giving them an opportunity for a better life, but man, they are not fairly compensating student athletes. Not the biggest programs. I'm going to get out of this topic. I'm sure you guys probably hate me. They hate what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't really. I say what I say. I believe my opinions. I state why I believe my opinions. That's how this show works. Help me grow Strong Opinion Sports by telling your friends about this podcast. Share it on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Copy the link. Share it on Reddit maybe. I don't understand Reddit. And if you really like this podcast, if you love this podcast as much as I do, remember that you can subscribe to Strong Opinion Sports on iTunes, on SoundCloud, on YouTube, and on Google Play. Spotify coming very soon. Thank you so much and have a great day.